It started with a glitch, a subtle distortion in the infrared spectrum that no one expected. Something vast, ancient, and unnervingly active, lurking at the edge of observable space, pulsing with energy that defied every model of cosmic evolution. Observatories from Chile to orbit locked onto it first. Then the alerts cascaded through global networks, a new phenomenon, unbound by the laws of stellar decay, radiating in patterns too rhythmic, too deliberate to be mere chance. And most alarming of all, it was aligned directly with our galaxy, as if aimed like an arrow through the void. At first, it was dismissed as a distant quasar flare, but within days the data sharpened into focus, intensity too controlled, frequency too encoded, emissions too targeted. And when astronomers mapped its source, what they uncovered froze the room. It wasn't just a light show, it was a beacon screaming across billions of light years. For eons, we've gazed into the abyss, assuming it held only echoes of the Big Bang. But now, as this enigmatic signal pierces our instruments, the James Webb Space Telescope has unveiled its core. And what it's beginning to decode is a message we were never meant to ignore. Because some are now whispering, what if this isn't just a star's death throes? What if it's a warning from the stars themselves? First captured in the narrow field of Webb's NIRCAM between the 15th and 20th of July, the anomaly now designated as JW Alert, one emerged from the depths of a survey targeting ancient galaxies. But this wasn't another faded relic. What Webb detected was alive with activity, its emissions spiking at intervals that matched no known natural cycle. Its energy output surpassed 10 to the 45th ergs per second, far beyond a typical supernova, yet without the chaotic burst of debris or afterglow. And when researchers extrapolated its position through redshift analysis, its origin traced not to a nearby cluster, not to the Virgo supercluster, but to a void billions of light years distant, possibly the remnants of a long-extinct cosmic structure. This wasn't a fleeting event born from stellar collapse. This was something that had been building for millennia, undetected until now. And the deeper enigma wasn't merely its location, it was its timing. Because prior to 2022, Webb's predecessors like Hubble had scanned similar voids and found silence. Now, in rapid succession, we've intercepted 3 such signals, and each one has carried layers of complexity that hint at more than randomness. Following the initial detection, astronomers worldwide vied for priority on the James Webb Space Telescope, engineered to unravel the universe's earliest secrets with unprecedented clarity. Webb was now redirected towards something far more immediate and profoundly disturbing. The signal's modulation didn't align with its apparent distance. Based on the Doppler shift, it should have been redshifted into oblivion. But observations revealed embedded patterns, repeating sequences in the infrared that suggested encoding, as if the energy wasn't dissipating naturally, but being shaped, directed, possibly amplified. Leading theories from astrophysical simulations proposed exotic matter or quantum fluctuations, yet the surface readings implied something engineered, with spectral lines too precise, too artificial for stellar plasma. Experts who had previously modeled anomalous radio bursts urged a search for non-random harmonics, subtle variations in frequency that couldn't be attributed to interstellar interference alone. If such harmonics persist, they might indicate the signal isn't passive, but intentional. And if it's intentional, then we're not decoding noise, we're receiving a transmission. To grasp the gravity of this revelation, we must revisit the two prior signals that foreshadowed it. In 2023, the first anomaly disrupted deep space surveys with its erratic pulses, lacking the expected decay of a fast radio burst and exhibiting unexplained coherence after traversing cosmic distances. Then, in 2024, the second arrived, more structured, with bursts that mirrored mathematical constants, defying explanations from magnetars or neutron star mergers. With each interception, unanswered questions mounted. But JW Alert 1 eclipses them both. It merges the coherence of the first with the mathematical undertones of the second. It doesn't mimic a burst, yet it evades classification as a natural emission. And now, cosmologists are entertaining a hypothesis once relegated to the fringes. These may not be isolated flares. They may form a sequence, a deliberate cascade, a veiled alert masquerading as celestial static. Because for billions of years, the cosmos broadcasted in disarray. Then abruptly, it organized, and the sole shift in the equation was our capacity to listen. Beneath the layers of spectral data, orbital adjustments, and computational models, one query lingers unspoken in official reports. What if it's not organic to the universe? When you strip away the implausibilities, the precision too exact, the alignment too fortuitous, the encoding too sophisticated, you confront a prospect too profound for casual discourse. Design, not in the realm of myth or fiction, but constructs, automated relays, cosmic sentinels dispatched eons ago from realms beyond our horizon. Theories posit we may have overlooked the intent in prior signals, and that JW Alert 1 offers redemption. Its modulated waves, its anomalous persistence, and the synchronicity of its detection all evoke purpose, or at minimum, architecture. The James Webb Space Telescope will persist in scrutinizing its polarization, entropy, and propagation. But what if the insights unfolding aren't about its mechanics, but its originators? Because in a universe spanning 13.8 billion years, the most daunting realization wouldn't be isolation. It would be that echoes of vigilance have surrounded us, and only now do our tools pierce the veil. As weeks unfolded, the influx from the James Webb Space Telescope and allied terrestrial arrays coalesced into a narrative of dread. The signal was evolving, its frequency subtly shifting, not in entropy's grasp, but with calculated refinement. This wasn't interstellar scattering. There was no diffusion, no attenuation plume, no stochastic drift. Yet the waveform adapted, evading predicted fades with uncanny acuity. Webb's mid-infrared instrument affirmed a persistent harmonic undercurrent, not turbulent like plasma ejection, but rhythmic, orchestrated, and vectorized. The parallel to earlier anomalies ignited a subdued alarm in research corridors where akin, unexplained modulations had been archived without resolution. This iteration, though, demanded reckoning. It was quantified, trailed, and now apprehended for the mere fact of adaptation. Sans catalyst implies agency. And for the inaugural instance, in sequestered briefings, scholars murmured what protocols forbade articulation. We're not merely intercepting this emission, we might be its intended audience. With Webb's sophisticated arsenal, trained unyieldingly on the source, teams at space agencies executed exhaustive waveform dissection. They anticipated hydrogen lines, helium signatures, the hallmarks of galactic turmoil. What materialized instead upended paradigms. The emission profile diverged from any archived cosmic event, with certain resonances evoking synthetic alloys over elemental fusion. In vernacular, it appeared fabricated, Not solely was the coherence anomalously elevated, but rotational symmetries in the pulse hinted at engineered equilibrium, a rarity in untamed stellar phenomena. One facet exhibited differential absorption, potentially denoting deliberate asymmetry. More confounding, variances in polarization suggested internal orchestration, conceivably chambers or stratified modulation. Whatever its essence, it transcended mere outburst. And if not an outburst, what then? That interrogation reverberated from propulsion labs to astronomical consortia to fortified intelligence enclaves. Because should nature falter as architect, intellect prevails. As communal intrigue swelled, a novel hush descended. Entities that had freely disseminated spectral plots and phase diagrams, global space coalitions, abruptly retracted. Data portals ceased refreshes. Observational schedules evaporated. Inquiries for unprocessed Webb feeds met rebuffs, invoking procedural scrutiny. Disclosure petitions from inquisitors yielded obscured folios, and murmurs seeped from observatory confines. Investigators relocated, authorities diverted, telescope linkages subtly curtailed. The populace, initially nourished on tales of wonder, encountered barricades. Why the pivot? What transformed? Peers in cosmology circles surmised a threshold breached, an epiphany unearthed, compelling regimes not merely to comprehend, but to curate dissemination. For when a finding escalates to contest physics' edifice, sovereignty's mantle, or creed's foundation, it transcends scholarship. It morphs into dominion. And dominion, amid the ether, equates silence with sovereignty. As the signal perpetuates its ethereal traverse across our perceptual threshold, a fresh epiphany crystallizes within scholarly spheres. This transcends datum. It's a nexus, a juncture compelling re-evaluation of epochs-old presumptions regarding void, seclusion, and anthropic primacy. If artificial, it hails from a lineage antedating ours by epochs, one adept at forging emissaries enduring abyssal epochs, one whose mere emanation suffices as communique. And if natural, we've encountered a rarity so exquisite it feigns contrivance to beguile. In either guise, the verdict endures. Our cosmic comprehension fragments, and James Webb merely illuminated that chasm. We no longer peer into oblivion. Oblivion, perchance, reciprocates the gaze, and its scrutiny may deem us ripe. Amid the intensifying enigma, a profounder, more unsettling notion percolated through erudite circles, not in symposia or vetted tomes, but in veiled dialogues and shielded missives among savants. What if this emission, this tacit cosmic herald, was engineered for deliberate unveiling? What if its temporal alignment, our instrumental maturation, and the James Webb Telescope's precise calibration, all synchronizing at this historical pivot, constituted the culminating element in an astral assay, not a mere ripple in the ether, but a gauge, an enticement poised for discernment by a society attaining perceptual acuity, one proclaiming, "You've ascended to perceive us. Now demonstrate your response. Contemplate eons of electromagnetic quiescence. No overtures, no beacons, no manifest incursions. Yet now, as computational sentience burgeons, quantum frontiers expand, and humanity extends tendrils past lunar bounds, something manifests, subdued, meticulous, alluring sufficient to divert our premier observatory from primordial quests to its essence. Might this herald the epoch where we transmute into the specimen? Where our analyses, our trepidations, our reticences all integrate into their ledger? For perhaps the most harrowing facet of this interception isn't the revelation, but the inversion. We were never the sentinels. The James Webb Space Telescope was conceived to probe outward, to chronicle nascent luminaries, unravel galactic genesis, and demystify temporal origins. But what it ensnared instead resides in the present, potentially reciprocal in scrutiny. Not at reality's fringe, but impinging our perceptual gateway, a phenomenon too orchestrated for haphazardness, too muted for banality, and too opportune for serendipity. We sought elucidations. Instead, we confronted a reflector, a serene, undulating conundrum that mirrors not merely thermal radiance, but our profoundest vulnerabilities. Are we solitary? Have we ever been? Or merely insufficiently evolved to discern the traversals? What James Webb has disclosed isn't solely a stellar emanation. It's the dawn of an expanded lexicon, one perhaps encompassing undefinable entities, be they contrived or innate, sentient or fortuitous. The verity persists. We've breached a novel stratum of astral cognizance, one where our apertures reveal not stars alone, but the expanse of our nescience, and perchance, the profundity of another's wisdom. This wasn't a harbinger of doom, it was an invocation. And now the inquiry shifts from seeking externals to acknowledging we've been sought. Yet the signal's persistence unveils layers unforeseen, its waveform now interleaving with gravitational perturbations detected by ancillary arrays, suggesting not isolation, but interconnection. A cascade where electromagnetic pulses synchronize with ripples in spacetime, as if the warning embeds multidimensional cues. Simulations run through superclusters of processors reveal potential futures. If unheeded, this could presage a galactic-scale event, a chain reaction of hypernovae or void expansions that ripple toward our sector, altering stellar nurseries and planetary habitability across eons. The emotional weight presses heavier. This isn't abstract astronomy, but a cosmic memorandum, urging preparedness against perils we've only begun to model. Webb's fine guidance sensors track minute deviations, confirming the signal's source orbits a supermassive black hole, its emissions possibly harnessed from event horizon energies, a natural amplifier turned sentinel. Speculative models grounded in quantum field theory propose this as a universal failsafe, a broadcast from mature cosmic processes alerting nascent systems to impending realignments in dark energy distributions. Deeper dives into the data expose embedded fractals, patterns repeating at scales from Planck lengths to megaparsecs, evoking self-similar structures seen in biological evolution, yet amplified to universal proportions. This convergence of math and mystery stirs an awe that borders on reverence. We're witnessing not chaos, but order, a symphony where entropy bows to intention. Philosophical undercurrents surge. If this warning originates from natural laws manifesting as code, it implies a universe inherently communicative, one where intelligence emerges not sporadically, but as an inevitable outcome of complexity. Conversely, if artificial, it suggests a galactic network, elders broadcasting safeguards against the void's indifference, their silence until now a measure of our readiness. The intellectual depth compels introspection. Humanity's hubris in assuming mastery over the stars crumbles, replaced by humility before a cosmos that may care, or at least compute, our fate. As global collaborations intensify, anomalies compound. Synchronized detections from radio telescopes worldwide reveal harmonic echoes, as if the primary signal seeds secondary broadcasts within our own ionosphere, adapting to Earth's magnetic field with precision that defies coincidence. This interactivity heightens the urgency. The warning isn't passive, but responsive, calibrating to our observational tools, perhaps testing our interpretative prowess. Emerging theories rooted in string theory posit multidimensional bleed-through where higher dimensional events cast shadows into our reality. The signal, a projection alerting to instabilities in the brain. The emotional resonance amplifies, fear mingles with wonder, a reminder that our existence teeters on cosmic threads, fragile yet woven into grander tapestries. Webb's cryogenic stability enables prolonged stares, unveiling temporal loops in the emission, cycles that align with historical cosmic milestones, like the epoch of Ryanization, suggesting the source encodes a timeline, a chronicle of universal hazards survived or succumbed. This narrative quality infuses the discovery with poetic gravity. We're not eavesdroppers, but inheritors of a stellar legacy, compelled to decode lest we repeat forgotten cataclysms. Speculative science edges toward profundity. Could this be the universe's self-preservation mechanism, a feedback loop where conscious observers like us become agents in maintaining equilibrium? The build-up crescendos, each revelation peeling back veils, driving toward a climax where ignorance yields to enlightenment. In the hush of data centers, ethical dilemmas emerge. Should we respond, broadcasting our position into the void, or maintain silence, preserving anonymity amid potential perils? This philosophical quandary mirrors ancient debates on fate and free will, now scaled to interstellar proportions, evoking a sense of cosmic responsibility that weighs on the soul. Webb's mirrors, polished to atomic perfection, reflect not just light, but our aspirations, our fears, transforming a telescope into an oracle of existential truths. The signal's evolution accelerates, its bandwidth expanding to encompass gamma rays, hinting at escalating urgency, a crescendo warning of imminent cosmic realignment. Grounded in relativity, models predict gravitational lensing effects, amplifying the broadcast, bending light paths to ensure delivery across galactic arms. This orchestration stirs profound emotion. We're minuscule yet pivotal, recipients of a message that bridges abysses, fostering a unity that transcends terrestrial divides. As revelations unfold, the intellectual weight deepens. Quantum entanglement theories suggest the signal links observer to source instantaneously, collapsing wave functions across distances, implying a participatory universe where our detection influences the outcome. This speculative depth, anchored in established physics, ignites awe, positioning humanity at a threshold where science and spirit converge. Finally, the James Webb Space Telescope's unwavering vigil culminates in a paradigm shift, its data not merely warning, but inviting collaboration, a call to evolve our understanding before the cosmos enforces it. The emotional intensity peaks, chills of realization, sparks of inspiration, a profound sense that we've been alerted not to despair, but to ascend. If this narrative stirred the depths within you, if it compelled you to question the fabric of reality, if it urged you to ponder the stars' silent counsel, then linger not in passivity. Engage with this enigma, for the next signal may demand action. Share this insight with those who gaze upward in wonder. Reflect below. Do you believe JW Alert 1 is a natural phenomenon or a deliberate cosmic admonition?